You walk into the game expecting the usual. George Pickens making contested catches, creating chaos downfield, giving you that pulse that says this offense can do damage. Instead, you got something else: half-speed routes, long stretches where he looked like he'd clocked out, and the kind of body language that makes even casual fans start asking questions. That's the real problem here. When a guy at his level starts looking disengaged, it isn't just one play. It threatens trust, chemistry, and the very calculation the front office uses when they decide whether to pay him big money. Right after the game, the talk exploded. Former players and pundits didn't hesitate to call the effort into question, and that changed the framing from bad coverage to attitude problem. You heard the same things I did on the calls and the clips: the jogging routes, the non-competitive cuts, the plays where he simply didn't fight to create separation. That's what put everyone on edge. Now don't get me wrong, Pickens has been a game changer when he's on. We've seen the big plays, the contested grabs, the explosive yards after catch that flip drives. But what you can't do in a must-win atmosphere is disappear when the game gets tight. Fans and analysts pointed to one sequence after another where Pickens looked checked out. And even the team voice we respect, the front office, had to walk the tightrope between protecting a star and holding him accountable. I want you to think about this. Would you feel comfortable giving him the kind of long-term contract we've heard floated, the $30 to $40 million range, after watching that tape? Drop a one-word answer in the comments: yes or no. I'll read a handful in the next video. Here's the other layer. Context matters. There were coverages that made life hard, too deep looks, extra help over the top, and teams scheming specifically to take Pickens away. But coverage alone doesn't explain the lack of effort on routes you'd expect him to. Run with purpose. People are bringing up incidents off the field, moments where his focus seemed fractured, and when you combine that with in-game body language, it paints a pattern that can't be ignored. On the show, we've always wanted to be honest about what we see because we root for wins, not excuses. So tell me straight, should the Cowboys pull the franchise tag trigger to buy another look at his behavior, or do you think they should test the market now? Vote in the poll on screen. Tag him or don't tag. And explain your pick in the comments. And if you're getting value from this breakdown, smash that subscribe button. We're close to our goal of 17,000 subscribers, and every new sub helps me put more film, more sourcing, and bigger breakdowns together for you. Also hit like if you want deeper tape sessions where we isolate every route and tell you exactly what to watch. Alright, that's the setup. Next up, we go into the tape room and break down the specific plays where Pickens looked bad versus the plays where he still flashed the superstar traits. When you're ready for that film session, when we sit in the tape room, you learn to separate excuses from fundamentals. On the surface, some of Pickens' issues look scheme-driven. Teams were rolling coverage his way, and there were clear moments where two defenders or safety help took away the deep shot. But when you freeze the frame, a few technical problems jump out that don't belong to play calling. They belong to effort and execution. First, route stems. Pickens has always relied on violent stems and sudden change of direction to create separation. In the clips from this game, there are multiple routes where his stem is flat, his plant foot slides, and the defender is literally able to ride him through the route. That's not wrong coverage. That's body language and beat timing. Second, his timing with the quarterback looked off on quick game concepts. There were slants and hitches where he wasn't, where Dak needed him to be at the top of the throw, which forces questionable throws and stalls drives. Third, competitiveness on contested catches. There were at least 2 jump ball situations where Pickens didn't attack the contact. Instead, he played around it. You can have off games, but the tape showed more than a technical hiccup. Now, let's talk context without making excuses. Ceedee went down with a scary injury, and that can shift looks and targets. And some guys respond by stepping up. We saw Ryan Flournoy do exactly that, running vicious double moves and finishing plays. That contrast matters because it highlights that effort and urgency aren't universally absent. They're choices. Richard Sherman's comments about jogging routes and not selling routes echoed what a lot of fans saw on tape. And when a veteran voice says it, it forces a film room re-examination. Is Pickens losing focus because of off-field distractions? Or is this on the coaching staff for not reinstilling fundamentals and consistent practice tempo? That's the debate. Here's where you come in. I want you to help build the tape dossier with me. Watch the game again and drop timestamps in the comments for the exact plays you think show the worst effort. I'll pull the top 5 and break them down on the channel. Also, vote in the pinned poll. Is this a coaching problem or a player problem? Pick one and tell me why in 1-2 sentences. That interaction shapes the next film session I put together for you. If you want more of these deep cuts, the kind of breakdown that actually moves the needle on how the front office sees a player, hit subscribe and help me reach the 17,000 subscriber goal. Smash the like button too if you want a follow-up where I compare Pickens' route running from early in the season to this clip-by-clip. Let's get into the part of the Pickens situation that absolutely cannot be ignored: the money. Because when a player gives you superstar flashes one week and effort concerns the next, the front office starts running the numbers real fast. And trust me, the math isn't gentle. Here's the baseline. If the Cowboys decide to use the franchise tag on George Pickens, we're talking a number that falls in the wide receiver premium range, north of $27 million for 1 year based on current projections. That's a massive chunk of cap space tied to a player you can't fully trust yet. And if the team does not tag him, then you're looking at either losing him for nothing or trying to negotiate a long-term deal where the player, not the team, has all the leverage. Both options come with real risk. Now, here's the tension inside the star right now. Pickens has the potential to be a WR1 in this league. His high-end film is ridiculous. Contested catches, explosive yards, body control that only 10 or 12 guys on Earth can replicate. But when that elite ceiling comes packaged with volatile effort, the analytics department, the cap guys, and the coaching staff don't always see the same player. The coaches see the talent. The cap team sees the inconsistency. The front office has to merge both viewpoints and put a price on it. If you're wondering what other teams would offer him, think about this. The moment a receiver with Pickens' physical traits hits the open market, desperate teams will look past the flaws. We've seen it a dozen times. Look at the contracts given to receivers with half Pickens' upside simply because teams believed they could fix the 80 attitude. That means trade value remains alive, but only if Pickens shows effort on tape. No contender is overpaying for a receiver who jogs through routes. And this is where Dallas is in a bind. Tag him? Expensive? Risky? But buys you 1 more year of evaluation. Extend him? Locks in talent, but you could be stuck with a volatile contract. Trade him? Possible. But only if he shows effort over the next 3 to 5 games. Here's what I want from you right now. Vote in the on-screen poll. Should Dallas tag Pickens for 1 year? Yes or no? And in the comments, tell me, what is the maximum contract you'd offer him per year? Give me a number. Before we go to the next chapter, take 2 seconds and hit subscribe. We're pushing toward that 17,000 subscriber goal, and these deeper cap breakdowns take a lot of prep. So if you're enjoying this, a quick tap really helps the channel grow. All right, let's get real for a second, because this is the part of the story nobody on ESPN wants to touch: the internal impact. When a quarterback speaks the way Dak just did, when he calls out the noise, the doubts, and basically sends a message straight at the fan base and the front office, that shakes a locker room. And trust me, this Cowboys locker room felt it. Players respond when their leader steps up like that. You've heard the stories. Some teams fold when the pressure hits, but other teams, they bond. They lock in. They take it personally. And Dak's message wasn't just to the media. It was to every guy in that room. It was Dak saying, "If I'm going to fight for this team, you better fight with me." And based on what we're seeing behind the scenes, the team heard him. You've got veterans backing him up. You've got young guys seeing what real leadership looks like. Even the coaching staff, yes, the same staff that's been under fire lately, seems to understand that Dak drew a line in the sand. Now here's the real question I want you to answer, because this channel is all about your voice too. Do you think Dak's message will actually spark a turnaround? Or is it just words, unless this team changes how it plays on Sundays? Drop a yes or no in the comments. I'm seriously curious where Cowboys Nation stands right now. And hey, before we jump into the final chapter, do me a quick favor. We're pushing hard to hit 17,000 subscribers. And if you're enjoying this breakdown, your sub helps this channel reach even more Cowboys fans who deserve real, honest coverage. Hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you know. All right, here's the bottom line and the checklist you need going forward. The next handful of games is less about X's and O's on the scoreboard and more about signal detection. Will Pickens show the urgency and detail that erase the doubt? Or will the pattern continue and force the front office's hand? What the Cowboys need to see on tape is simple and measurable. Diet 1, cleaned up root stems and sharper plant foot timing, so he's consistently where Dak expects him on timing routes. 2, full tilt competitiveness on contested catches and contested releases. And 3, consistent body language, urgency from snap to whistle. If you start seeing those 3 boxes ticked, the conversation goes back to elite upside. If not, you have to plan for a tough roster decision. From a roster and playoff perspective, remember the dominoes. Pickens' play affects defensive game planning. Teams will continue to roll help if he's not a consistent threat. Affects the passing game distribution. More targets for complementary pieces like Flournoy, and it affects cap strategy, whether the Cowboys pay, tag, or trade. For you as a fan, watch special teams and situational snaps too. If Pickens is present and engaged on third downs, in red zone work, and in 2-minute scenarios, that's a huge sign. If he's averaging fewer snaps or taking plays off when the game is tight, that's the red flag that will change everything. Here's how you can participate. Right now, first, vote in the poll on screen. If Pickens doesn't improve in 3 games, should the Cowboys trade him? Yes or no? Second, in the comments, predict Pickens' stat line for the next game. Receptions, yards, TDs. I'll feature the best predictions in the follow-up video. Third, drop one specific thing you want coaches to do to get the best out of him. A drill, a role change, or a mentorship pairing. Quick reminder, if you're finding value in these breakdowns, please hit subscribe. We're pushing to 17,000 subscribers so I can bring deeper film sessions, cap breakdowns and player interviews straight to Cowboys fans like you. Smash the like button if you want a follow-up video where I simulate 3 scenarios the front office might choose and how each one affects the cap and roster. Final thought. This is a pivotal moment for George Pickens and for the Cowboys. Talent alone doesn't win championships. Consistency and accountability do. The next few weeks will tell us whether this becomes a teachable chapter or a decision the team has to make for the good of the roster.